What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Two Worlds Podcast. I'm Jake, and with me, as always, is the $1 billion to my Jeff Bezos ex-wife. It's Casey. What's up, buddy?
Oh, not much, man. What's up with you?
Well, I moved over the weekend to my new place with the lady, so I'm sore, but the stress level has come down. We're
Good.
nearly there.
I'll be honest, your new place looks a lot like your old place.
Yeah, well, I have a style,
Yeah,
and it's Middle
clearly.
Earth.
Yeah. It's like
I
my
know I need to
stylist
switch this up
is
every now and then. Do a
yeah, like
couple different ones.
my stylist is Frodo.
He's got great style.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's jump into the news. I think you have one or two more than me, so I'll let you go first.
All right. So this isn't much, but it was kind of cool if you want to look at the picture. Zack Snyder posted a picture of Wayne Carter as Jon Stewart, and like a little fun fact, there's another picture of them actually shooting his scenes as Jon Stewart in Zack Snyder's, I think, backyard or in his driveway. Which, how hilarious would that be if you're like Zack Snyder's neighbors and they're like, "Dang, Zack's shooting another one of his movies again."
So I don't want to be that guy, but I think you've got the name wrong.
Oh, okay, more than likely.
I think it's Wayne T. Carr.
Oh, okay.
Just wanted to throw it out because after I saw this in the notes, I went and looked it up because I hadn't heard about it, and I was like, oh, no wonder I can't find it. It's because the name's not right.
Oh, okay, my bad.
Just wanted to let you know.
Yeah, could have let me know, off
No.
camera.
No, I want you to just revel in your foolishness.
I mean, that's like every week.
But I thought it looked neat. What did you think?
No, I think it looks cool, and especially for clearly, like I said, you can see the picture of him doing it in the driveway. Like for what they were using, it looked pretty good. And knowing that had he been able to be in it more, like actually the next movie, he would have got a regular suit. It would have worked a lot better. I mean, they were working with what they had, so like it's not the best stuff, but it's good enough for what it was.
Yeah, for sure. All right. So the Bitterroot movie has found its director, and that is Regina King. I wasn't very familiar at all with her. But hey, hopefully the movie happens and it's good.
Remind me what Bitterroot was. I don't even remember that.
It's still going on. It's an Image book. I know that Sanford Green works on it. I'm a fan of his, so I see a lot of panels posted from it. But I've not read it. I've just got like one or two people that have it on pull at the shop, but I really should just like get the trade and check it out.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure that the trade's about to like be out of print at this point, if it's
More
not
than likely,
already.
So Emily Blunt shot down Fantastic Four rumors, stating very bluntly
Oh,
that they aren't for her, and she doesn't really like them, which it's kind of weird because she was supposed to be Black Widow, 50 years ago when that was still, like when they're originally casting that. And so like now that she's like, a bigger name, I guess she's just like, you can keep that pig swole to yourself.
maybe she's just bitter that she didn't get Black Widow. So now she's like, no, it was Black Widow or nothing.
Black Widow was my favorite character back then, and she still is, and I would have done it better. Well, you remember why she couldn't, which it's like made it even worse, is she was stuck doing I think it was Gulliver's Travels with Jack Black.
Oh no.
Yeah, like she signed her contract where she had to do X amount of movies with this studio. And then they're like, you got to do Gulliver's Travels. And she's like, but they want me for Iron Man. And they're like, too bad, Gulliver's Travels.
I feel like too bad Gulliver's Travels should be a thing, like a saying.
That's going to be the name of this podcast episode.
I like it. Okay, so I guess this was actually reported a couple weeks ago, but I hadn't seen it till this week. But Red Sonja was casted, and that is Hannah John Kamen. I guess she would, and I haven't seen it yet because I don't know why. but she's an Ant-Man and the Wasp as somebody.
Oh, okay, yeah. She's the I remember seeing this now. She's Ghost.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, that's who they are choosing for Red Sonja.
They better dye her hair.
Yeah, because I Googled her and I'm like, well, I see a Sonya, just not a lot of red happening.
Yeah. It's like, I mean, you can say a lot of things like, oh, well, the race doesn't matter for the character or whatever, but the hair kind of does.
Yeah, that's why she's called Red Sonja,
Yeah, so I mean,
apart
like,
from all the blood.
yeah, it'd be funny if like the at the beginning you're like, she doesn't have any red, and then she kills like a bunch of people and it just gets all over her hair, and then from then on it's like she doesn't wash her hair. You're like, this is kind of gross, but it's also
mostly
pretty
gross.
dang cool.
Yeah, I hope that movie does happen, because a sword and sorcery movie about, you know, this BA chick is what we need. Is what I need.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I could see about it not being good, and this is like, I know zero about it, but it's like it could end up being like the Jason Momoa Conan movie, which I didn't
Mhm.
see either, but
It's
I
not
heard it's,
great.
yeah. So like that's kind of my worries with that. It's just gonna be that, but with a lady instead of Jason Momoa.
Yeah. I hope it's not, because, and really, Conan deserves better too, because I love those 80s movies with Arnold. But hopefully it's something that can turn into like multiple movies.
Yeah, maybe then do another Conan and you can get it, the crossover stuff and all that
Yes,
funness.
exactly.
So there you okay, this is the thing I want to talk to you about before the podcast. It's like, we'll just save it. Did you see the Daily Bugle that Lego's making?
I didn't.
Okay, Google that. Like, check our Twitter, because what are you doing? Sorry, the Google just popped up and it's talking to me. So give me a sec. I don't want to stretch.
Boy, that's embarrassing.
I know we're supposed to be professionals. I don't even know how to get rid of this thing. Okay, there we go. Yeah, my voice commands popped up, and then they heard me talking. It's like, let me Google this. I was like, what are you doing? And it's like, I'm doing my morning stretches. What are you doing?
Okay, so I'm looking at it now. It's amazing.
Right? Like, you're the more Lego head. Like, I have a feeling I would hate it. Like, I would be like, this is so cool, and I'd buy it, and then I would look at the 3,772 pieces and then scream.
No, man, for me it's challenge accepted.
Yeah. There's gonna be 25 minifigures, and it's gonna be $300. But if you buy that and you never open it, 2 years from now it's gonna probably be $2,000. So
Yeah, for real.
it's a good investment, and it looks super cool.
But how could you not open it? Look at all the minifigs. I see Daredevil, Sandman, Mysterio, there's Spider-Gwen.
The spider car going up the side of the building.
Yes, the spider car. I see that. That's so cool.
Yeah, I tweeted a picture to Miles Turner. I was like, you getting this? He hasn't responded yet, but let's hope when he does, he agrees to be on the pod.
I think we both know he's getting it, though.
I don't know, because like, just from me, Miles Turner is a basketball player, for those that aren't familiar with the Indiana Pacers, but he's like more into Star Wars stuff, so he might not be a Spider-Man guy. He might be like, nah, I'm good with the Spider-Man stuff.
Well, either way, this is amazing. The price tag's not amazing, but honestly, as big as this thing is, I'm kind of shocked it's not more than that.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I wonder if it's gonna sell out quick, or do they sell out quick with Lego?
It depends. Sometimes the specialty ones don't, and I'm sure it's the price point. But like with the Voltron, the giant Voltron that I got, I knew that I had to get that soon, because they probably didn't make like a ton of those, right? And it's one of those that was going to skyrocket later.
Yeah, for sure. I know you and your mom like to do the Lego stuff, and I remember looking at your, that room in your house with all the Lego stuff, and it's just like, you guys gonna try to talk her into tackling that with you, so you can.
Maybe it would be a fun thing to do together. Maybe if we go halvesies, it wouldn't be so bad.
That's what I was thinking. You go like, hey, we can have this fun activity together, Mom. She's like, how much is it?
Yeah, but my gosh, as big as it is, it'd take like a whole weekend.
That, and like, you'd also have to find, like, she'd have to clear off, like she'd have to get a special stand for it because it's so, I'm
Yeah,
assuming it's going to be so big.
like an addition onto the house just for
Yeah.
like a Lego room. My goodness.
I think she'd be okay with that.
All right. So I thought this was kind of neat. Kang the Conqueror is getting an ongoing this summer. It's supposed to be an origin story. So I'm thinking like 12 issues max because an origin story is not an ongoing, right? Like I'm
Yeah.
not crazy in saying that. And like I want a book about Kang because I've always wanted to get into him more than I have, but I still think he's a neat villain. Um, I don't see that being more than like 2 volumes.
I'll
But
be on. Oh,
no, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I'll be honest. Like this sounds like it's gonna be a headache and a nightmare of a comic, because it's like I thought his origin was already known. Like he was the kid on Young Avengers, the Iron Man kid on Young Avengers. So I thought that was just known who he was, and then so I'm like, well, it's time travel, so they're probably gonna be doing a lot of weird stuff that just makes you go like, huh?
Yeah, well, maybe, but I'm at least gonna check it out because I
Yeah,
think these villain miniseries can be really cool
for
sometimes.
sure.
But that's gonna be written by Colin Kelly and Jackson Lanzig, and the art will be done by Carlos Magno and Espen Gruntidjern. Boy, I'm sorry for that one. Uh, but the cover, at least the cover for issue 1, is done by Mike Del Mundo, so it's an amazing cover. But
Nice.
anyway, look forward to that later this summer.
So they both tweeted this out today, but Michael Walsh and Joshua Williamson are going to be teaming up on a new Image comic. Nothing's really known. It was just a black page with Michael Walsh, Joshua Williamson. That's it.
It
That's
really doesn't matter because it's gonna be
yeah,
good. That's a really
yeah.
good team.
Like they're like some people were speculating it's going to be more of the silver coin, but that's just people guessing. So we'll see. I'm going to check it out probably since Williamson's kind of just he has a one-way direct ticket to my wallet. So,
Here's what I hope. If it were made for me personally, it would be some like sword and sorcery thing where they don't bring them to modern times or use technology, just like a dedicated sword and sorcery title, because Michael Walsh's art would be great for that.
be funny if it's like they're like we're not bringing it to modern times. We're bringing it first to the 1800s
I mean,
and then the 3800s.
okay. It's getting a little wacky.
And then back to the ancient times.
And wouldn't you know it, it lasted 5 issues.
So really quick, the Snake Eyes trailer dropped. Did you see it? Did you watch it or anything like that? It looks pretty cool. Like some people are griping because the dude that's playing Snake Eyes is Asian, and it's like a big part of Snake Eyes' character, like actual backstory is he's a white dude being raised by Japanese, and that that causes Storm Shadow to get all mad about it and stuff. But it's like I remember this guy that got casted was like, I really want to be Snake Eyes, and like he was campaigning for this movie to get made, and it's like, yeah, I mean, it's also a sign that I don't care that I'm not that invested in like Snake Eyes' backstory. He just has to be, silent and masked up. So like this movie is like him basically losing his voice and getting masked up. So it's like, yeah, the next movie I'll probably be okay with the dude as long as he looks cool doing the stuff he's supposed to be doing.
Right. GI Joe's never been like a big thing for me. So like I'm not invested in anything GI
Yeah.
Joe related. If the guy really loves it, I'm sure he'll do a great job at it. But yeah, I honestly didn't really know that this movie was a thing.
Yeah. It's pretty neat in the trailer that like at least the one I watched afterwards they did interviews with the different cast members and Larry Hama. And like the dude name dropped Larry at the beginning part. He's like, he actually did a silent issue. And he's like, and that showed a lot of, like the backstory for Snake Eyes and stuff. And I was like, and this is just one of the things that made me love the character and why I wanted to do this, movie and stuff. I'm like, that's pretty awesome. And Larry was talking about different stuff. I don't know why I'm on the first name basis with him, but apparently I am. And yeah, it was pretty cool. I'd say check it out. Like it should be a fun, at the very least, on par with that Ninja Assassin movie we saw back in like high school.
Ninja Assassin movie.
Remember that?
No, the movie
You,
must not have been great.
I mean, it was called Ninja Assassin. It was by the people that made The Matrix, and
Oh my
you were like,
gosh,
dude, we
what?
need to go see this. And then we went and saw it, and it's just like stupid, fun action movie.
2009 film Ninja Assassin. Oh my gosh, how do I, dude? I have no idea what this movie is.
Yeah, because I was like, dude, this looks pretty stupid. And you're like, oh, come on. I'm like, fine.
Oh, I recognize the movie poster. Gosh, it must have been bad, and I liked everything back then.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay. Well, Casey, if you want to drag me out to Snake Eyes, I'll go.
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay, my last bit. Also, real quick, it's kind of like with this movie, back when they casted what's his name for Iron Fist, and everyone was like, it should be an Asian guy, even though that's not his
Yeah.
character at all. It sounds like they went the opposite with this, and they're like, you know what?
Yeah.
Let's let him have it.
But the one thing too, I guess this guy, it's like he's not Japanese actually, like he's a different Asian ethnicity. Like people were talking about it in the comments because they're having their comment arguments, So they're gonna be working in that he isn't Japanese into the story, like so it's gonna be this like it's just he's not a white dude, basically.
Right. Yeah.
So it's
Well, I can
it's like
imagine the diehards are just throwing a fit over this.
yeah, I mean with Iron Fist though, it's like they could have got someone with some charm,
Yeah.
like a personality.
Hey, can't have it all.
Yeah.
All right, my last little thing. So a few episodes back, we were talking about extreme carnage that's happening this summer with like Lasher and all those 90s sounding symbiote names. Uh, so that event has been extended, and now I guess each of those members are getting a one shot. It'll just be Extreme Carnage Lasher or Extreme Carnage Riot. And I guess they're creating a new symbiote that's going to debut during that event because, it just seems like something Marvel would do to drive the
Yeah.
sales on this event, right? All the symbiote people are going to go nuts over it. I don't know who the new symbiote is, but and I don't want to crap on this event because I love Philip Kennedy Johnson and I know that he's a really good writer. But anyway, it just says, I think it's in the Lasher comic. Yeah, witness the birth of a new symbiote. So, yeah, if you want like a first appearance or you just like any of the symbiote stuff, check out Extreme Carnage this summer.
I'll be honest, like after reading King in Black and finding out that Flash Thompson's anti-venom is gonna be in that series, I'm interested in that series now because like I've missed Flash Thompson's Venom character so much since they got rid of him for no reason. So
Yeah, that Rick Remender series was pretty cool, the bits that I read, and then like they just did nothing with them after that.
yeah, well no, because he had that series where he was in space too, and that series was ridiculous, and the art was
Oh
awesome.
yeah, that was Space Knight or something
Yeah,
like that?
yeah, and it was so cool. Like the art was insane. I don't remember who did the art, but it was so awesome. And then like the story itself, like he fought an alien panda and a bunch of other crazy stuff happened, and then like this new Venom series started up, and it wasn't Eddie Brock and it wasn't Flash. It was just some evil dude.
Right.
And then and so I was like, well, you're not getting my money anymore. Thanks a lot, guys.
Well,
All right.
we'll see how this goes.
Yeah. So my last bit of news, this is kind of big news. It happened today. Like I read about it on my way to the gym. I was on my phone when I was driving. Shouldn't have been. Whatever. But AT&T agreed to merge its Warner Media assets with Discovery. So the way I understood it, and I basically just skimmed news articles multiple times and I looked on Twitter. So it's like I didn't read enough, but the way I understood it is they're taking like basically giving their stuff to the Warner Media stuff to Discovery Network, and letting them have it to take on also some of the debts from Warner Media and some AT&T's debt, just because they're trying to get above water. And so now Discovery gets Cartoon Network, TNT, TBS, all of those stuff. It's trying to make itself like the streaming.
HBO.
Yep. DC Comics, some of the WB games, and it's like not a lot's known what's going on yet. The head of Discovery is going to probably stay the head of Discovery. There's a good chance for all the Snyder fans to get what they want with Snyder coming back, because he wasn't really vibing with the WB people, as we've talked about. So it's like there's a good chance that's going to get better. But yeah, it's like it's kind of worrisome with the comic side, because they might be trying to price, to slash out their overhead there and fire a bunch of people like AT&T already did, which could be, I don't know if that's going to happen. I hope it doesn't. I don't want to say too much of what could happen or what couldn't happen, but yeah, that's basically all we know so far of what's going to happen. I mean, I'm not looking forward to probably ending up spending more money for the same amount of content.
Yeah, see, I don't know that that'll happen. I don't know that it'll get higher than it is right now. We DC comics right now, most of them have already gone up $1. And yes, we get more content in the form of backups, but uh, this has happened, like DC's moved around before and the comic stuff stayed the same. So
I just meant with the streaming services in general. I have a feeling they're going to be like, yeah, you get HBO Max, but then like, what about this other nonsense that we have? Like, what if I want to watch Chip and Joanne fix up old houses? That's not on my HBO Max. Now I got to buy Discovery and all this other stuff.
What if all of it just goes into one, though? Wouldn't that be cool?
Yeah, I don't think that. I mean, I think it's going to be something similar to what Disney's doing with Hulu and ESPN packages and Disney Plus packages, where it's like, oh, if you spend $30 a month, you get all three or whatever it was.
Right.
Which ESPN Plus is like the most pointless thing, because I was actually interested in that. And then I saw like what you get with ESPN Plus. It was like, hey, you get some of the documentaries that we used to let be on Netflix that we got rid of. And then we also have not games, like you can't watch basketball games on here. You could like watch our people talk about the basketball games that you're not allowed to watch.
I just feel like there's not a good one for sports anyways. Like,
yeah,
anytime you want to watch a certain game, it's like, oh, blackout. It's like, okay, don't know why I'm paying for this.
That's the one thing that's like a little bit better where I'm at, because it's like, I mean, are you able to watch Pacers games or no?
No.
With where you're at? Yeah, see, like I can watch Memphis games. I don't think you'd be able to watch Memphis games.
No.
Yeah, so like at least like where I'm at, it's like no Chicago or Pacers games, but I can watch Pacers on DirecTV, so that's fine. And Chicago, who wants to watch them? So, but yeah, with where you're at, it's like, man, you're kind of like in the middle of three different places and it doesn't work.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, who knows? I guess we'll know in the coming days, right?
Yeah, I bet we'll be talking about it next week with all the different news that gets dropped.
Yeah, and I'm sure it'll come up a billion times at the shop this week too.
Yeah, I'll be texting you about it. Being like,
yeah,
hey, do you think the comics will die?
Dude, that's what it's gonna be. People are still gonna think that's the case. It's like, guys, it's not happening. Come on.
I heard Disney bought DC. Is that true?
Oh gosh.
Kevin Feige said he's gonna be the new Superman. Is that a real thing?
Kevin Feige said that Batman was done. It's gonna come up. It's gonna come up. Anyway, I think that's it for the news, right?
Yes, sir, it is.
Okay, so we will take our ad break and then we'll come back and talk comics. So we'll be right back. Welcome back. Thanks for listening to the ad. Casey, after that big old swig of water, tell the people what comics you read this week.
I read Time Before Time, the DC Festival of Heroes, the Asian superhero celebration, Justice League, Last Ride, Batman, Urban Legends, Superman, Future State, Gotham, The Joker. What about you, man?
Okay, I don't have a mic stand, so I'm gonna do this as best as I can.
Put it between your legs, bend down, and talk into it while you read the things off.
Ooh, Casey. Just kidding. That's not a bad idea.
I was just trying to say the sexiest thing you could do.
Okay, I read Future State Gotham, DC Festival of Heroes, Justice League Last Ride, the main part of Batman Urban Legends, Star Wars High Republic #5, and Joker #3.
Nice, man. Gotta get ours. You didn't say Superman, right?
No, I sold out of that one, sadly.
Oh, okay. Okay, so the ones we read together, I should listen better, but I'm not good at it. Justice League Last Ride, DC Festival of Heroes, Batman Urban Legends, the first part, Future State Gotham, and Joker.
Yep.
All right. Cool. So you want me to go first, man?
Yeah, go for it.
All right. So first up is Time Before Time, and this is by get the names up. All right. Declan Shalvey, Rory McConville, and Joe Palmer on the art. And they said this is like Looper meets Saga. It's mostly just like a Looper ripoff so far. I mean, I think maybe the Saga is going to be coming up in the next issue, maybe. But yeah, you have this guy that like he works for this kind of shady organization that takes people that are like running from something, whether it be crime, other crime people or the law, and takes them to different spots throughout time. And they come back up into their present, which is 2140. And this dude wants to get out, and he meets up with his buddy, tries to talk him into it, but his buddy does it wrong, and he gets back to 2140, and he's an old man, and so now he's like, oh, I'm gonna do this, and then this lady shows up and kind of messes up his plans, and then yeah, it's interesting, but it very much it's like, oh yeah, this is kind of just a Looper ripoff. So if you like Looper, go for it. But if you watch that movie and you go, this is kind of stupid, you're gonna think this is kind of stupid. But I liked it okay. I'd give it, like, the art's not my favorite either personally, but I'd probably give it a 7 out of 10. It's perfectly fine.
Okay. So I will talk about Star Wars The High Republic #5. This was written by Kevin Scott, and art was done by Ario Anindito. Yes, so last issue, like, some Hutts showed up and the evil plants were like, taking over people and whatnot and trying to rule the galaxy. The main thing that happened in this is that Jedi Master Skier, who is the Trandoshan Jedi, kind of sacrifices himself in a way that we're going into spoilers here. And he tells his Padawan, who's the main character and whose name I can never remember. Oh gosh, what is it? It's like, starts with a K.
Kylie.
I don't think it's Kylie. My goodness, this is terrible.
Kiki.
Anyway, yeah, we're gonna say it's Kiki. So Skier tells Kiki, hey, I want you to use your, like, it's not Jedi mind trick, it's like something like it for plants and lesser beings. It's like, use that and tell them that all the people that they're trying to infect are like spoiled meat, basically, and that they'll get poisoned if they take these things over. And Kiki's like, well, that's not gonna work because I can't use that trick on you. You're too advanced and you have your crazy force powers and all this. He's like, well, if I lower my defenses against someone that I trust like you, then we have a shot. He's like, okay, so she does it, and it works just as the Jedi and this Hutt cartel were like teaming up to fight off these crazy plant things. And all of them leave. They leave the Jedi space station. They leave this planet that the Kiki and Skier have been on this whole time. Um, they start to run away, and then the issue ends with Skier dead? Question mark. And Kiki's just like holding him, like, don't you dare. I don't think he's gonna die. Um, because Trandoshans have like this crazy regeneration powers, and also he's super strong with the Force, so I don't see this being the thing to take him out, but maybe it is. Um, but anyway, it's a pretty neat story. It's not as strong as some others, but it was just like full of nonstop action, which is cool. Like everybody that has a lightsaber in the story is using it in this issue, so that was cool. And Skier's sacrifice was pretty neat. Um, so I'd probably also give it like a solid 7. There wasn't anything wrong with it, but nothing like jumped out at me either. So 7.
I got you, man. That's pretty cool. Like, it sounds pretty neat, but I don't know. I don't think I could get behind a character named Kiki.
I think it's Kiev,
Oh,
but
okay.
Kiki is as good as any.
Do you remember that episode of King of the Hill really quick where like where Hank is like accused of being racist? Do you remember that one?
I don't know what
Okay,
happens.
well, like because Lady Bird attacks or a paraman that was black, and so like he's like, oh, and then people are like, assuming he's racist, and so he gets these like dolls to like make conversation between like a white man and a black man. And like so Bobby's like, I'm gonna play. He's like, I want to play with you with them. So like he's the like I think Bobby was the black dude and Hank was the white one. He's like, I lost my kitty. His name was Kiki. If you say here Kiki 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 Kiki, he'll come. And so like Hank's like, oh, here Kiki Kiki Kiki, and then Lady Bird comes in and eats the doll because Hank's uncomfortable doing this.
That's wonderful.
Okay, so next up is Superman number 31, and this is by Philip Kennedy Johnson with Scott Goldwhisky on the breakdowns and Scott Goldwhisky on for certain pages with Norm Wraparound on other pages. The art in this is pretty fantastic. The story itself, I am just not digging the story. There's this like parasite that's taking over aliens and all this other stuff, and like Superman's dealing with it, and John's trying to help and stuff. And I don't know. I just haven't been too interested in this story since it started. The backup story, though, is actually a lot of fun. This has got Loose Cannon, who I've never heard of before, and Gangbuster. And this isn't the original Gangbuster. I think this is his, they say here, I think it's his niece. Yeah. And she's kind of a loose cannon, like literally, unlike this other guy who's named Loose Cannon. And she beats up people too much, and so Loose Cannon tries to talk to her about it. And I'm gonna really quick find the creative on this. It's Sean Lewis and Sami Basir on the art, and the art in it is great too. And basically, Loose Cannon and Gangbuster are like arguing back and forth, and they then get in a fight, and Gangbuster tries to fight Loose Cannon. Loose Cannon hits her, takes her out pretty brutally. Like they're like, oh, she'll be okay, but look at that. That does not look okay to me. That looks dang near dead. And then Bibbo gets hit too, and Loose Cannon's feeling bad, but they're getting manipulated by these overarching villains. That was a really fun story. The main story, not so much fun. So overall, I'm gonna like this is one of the few times where I'm like the backstory is way more enjoyable than the main story in this. But I'm gonna probably give it overall like a 6 because it's like I said, the main story is just I'm not digging.
Okay. The rest of mine we read together, so
Okay. So let's like I'll say we should finish since it's the biggest is the DC Festival of Heroes. We can go start with Batman Urban since that's the one you read the least. And what order you want to do the other three?
Let's do Justice League Future State Joker.
Dude, that's crazy. That's how they were already set up for me.
I know.
That's when you're like, I'm in your house right behind you. I'm like, oh,
and you wouldn't know because of the background.
There you go. Okay, so the Urban Legends, it's Red Hood and Batman in Cheer, Part 3 of 6 by Chip Zdarsky, Eddie Barrows, and Eber Ferreira and Jesus Marino on the art. What do you think of this? Oh, with the flashback scenes, Marcus Toe.
Overall, I liked it. I think it's silly that the last issue they were just beating the crap out of each other, and then this issue it's like none of that ever happened.
Yeah,
Batman was just like, now Jason.
That's another thing too that really annoyed me. Like I like this issue a good bit, but the fact that it's like, I mean, Batman basically just kind of gives like Jason you're gonna get a timeout for murdering that guy. Like that's like, it's just kind of like, remember what happened last time you fought these people? You murdered them.
It really reminded me of Arrested Development whenever Michael gets in trouble and his mother just like kills the person because Batman's like, don't worry, I'll take care of this and I'll clean up this mess. It's like, but he just killed somebody in Gotham and that's your rule. So
yeah.
This is so like the first time I've read something by Chip where I'm like,
yeah. It was a bit disappointing there. And my headcanon staying strong though, where Jason's like, I don't want to disappoint Barbara. Maybe she'll love me like she loves Grayson.
Yeah, I agree. I think that the flashback scenes by Marcus Toe are amazing though.
Yeah.
Like his art's insane.
No, I agree, man. Then like the art in general in this, I do really love. It's just kind of like the characterizations of Batman, and I think Chip's trying to write him a little bit more of a loving father figure than what he is and has ever been in the comics. But
what really cracked me up is whenever, like, just the one frame of Batman handing the lollipop to the kid and his like big smile. It's like, what the heck?
That's like, what's really funny is there's this picture that's been going around on Instagram now where people will post this scene from, I think it's like Pain of the Gods story arc from Justice League where like basically, okay, so spoiler alert, this comic, it was like, there's at the very beginning of the story arc, Superman's trying to save these people from this fire. This guy comes in to help save them. New superhero you never hear of. He dies in the first issue. And then all this other stuff's happening. And then it turns out like, oh, the family members all got superpowers that day too. And so Batman, like the picture is Batman playing with this kid while the Wonder Woman and Superman are like talking to the mom. And like, he's like, oh, you should try the circle one there. That's what Batman's saying. So they're like, look at him. The little orphan's playing with the kids. He knows what it's like not to have a father. Like they're like trying to build. And then it's just like, no, he's doing this because he has a hunch that this kid's got superpowers.
Right.
So that always annoys me. But so Lady Shiva in Death Wish is the next one. This is by Che Grayson and Alberto Jimenez on the art. And yeah, this is a little disappointing. When I first saw Lady Shiva was getting her own story in here, I was like, yes. And then when we got it, I was like, it's a little too touchy-feely for what I want from a Lady Shiva story. So yeah, it just wasn't that wasn't really for me. And then The Outsiders and The Caretaker, Part 3 of 3. And this is by Brandon Thompson with Max Dunbar on the art. And so, yeah, this is just the kind of last part of that story with Black Lightning, Katana, and old Metamorpho fighting. They're going to be getting the old band back together, and they're setting up for, I think, in the fall. new Outsider series. It sounds like it's gonna be pretty cool. I'm pretty stoked for it. I love Metamorpho. So that's pretty awesome. And then Grifter and the Long Con, part 3 of 5. Like, dude, you're missing out. And this is by Matthew Rosenberg with Ryan Benjamin on the art. You're missing out not reading the Grifter stories. They're a lot of fun, really cool. He has the most relatable part in comic book history for me personally, and it's one of these things where I thought it in my head. I'm like, I'm gonna say this on the podcast to get a laugh, and then he says it. I'm like, oh wow, I relate to him. So. Right. He's like at the urinal and he's being approached to do a job, and he's like starts taking a pee, and he's like, of course, but that's why we're here, and we did our homework, and we think what we're doing might be of interest to you, so we have come with a proposition. No, and don't look at me. I can't go if you're looking at me. I'm like, I get it. I get a little stage fright too.
Stage fright.
But yeah, all in all, I really like this series. Like normally I'm like, we don't need another Batman book. But when they give you Lady Shiva, the Outsiders, and Grifter, also characters that, I mean, outside the Outsiders, probably couldn't get their own book with DC. This is a good way of doing it, and I'm okay with that. And I'd probably give it an 8 out of 10. What about you?
Well, in the part I read, man, I'm sitting at like a 5.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, it's just annoying. I thought this was gonna be like a really like a deep dive into Jason and Bruce, but right now Batman's just like, now I know you killed that man, but Daddy's gonna take care of it, and that's
yeah. I will say, getting a deep dive with Jason and Bruce, you're not going to get much, because there's not much deepness I don't think you can get from those two. It's like that's been done with by Judd Winnick, and then you're just going to get retreads.
True. So either don't do it or give me something better than don't worry, I'm going to fix it.
Yeah. All right, man. I'll let you take point on this one.
Okay. We've got Justice League: The Last Ride. And this was also written by Chip Zdarsky. And I can't find the credit. Oh, it's right on the front page. The art was done by Miguel Mendonca. So I will ask you your initial thoughts.
I absolutely loved it. My main thing that I hated is on the first page. And this is something that comic book, I'm assuming this might be on the artist, not on the writer so much. I have a feeling he's just like, put a big guy for Superman to punch. But Doomsday, come on, that's the guy that killed Superman, and they're just like, oh, Superman's doing his daily routine, just punching Doomsday, saving the day. That stuff always annoys me. It's the same thing like how they do with Mongol now too. It's like, don't job these guys out, use Parasite. But yeah, other than that, I loved it. Like, I really like everything that's going on in this universe. I like that Lobo is there. I like the Green Lanterns. Hal Jordan's costume looks insane.
Yeah.
It's got the right amount of angst for me too. It's just it's pretty fantastic. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Clearly something really bad happened with Martian Manhunter, and I want to know what happens there. Batman was being a little too angsty there for me until Superman showed up and talked to him, and then I'm like, okay, it was for this character moment.
Yeah.
Which was good, very good. Some of the art scenes are just amazing. Like, I don't know if it'll let me with the background, but oh yeah, this one right here with Batman, I thought was really, really awesome. Yeah, just good stuff. I really want to know what happened to like disband the team. And I think this whole idea that Hal has presented them sounds awesome, and I want to see how it works out.
Same, dude. I'm really pumped. I want more of it, and I'm glad it's not a digital first and I don't get spoilers on Instagram, because that's what would have happened. I mean, I was already kind of getting it every once in a while, like stuff would pop up, but if it would have been like months in advance, I probably would have seen it, prior.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd give it a 10 out of 10.
Um, yeah, there's really nothing I can like pick apart on this one, so
Yeah,
I think I'm also at a 10.
nice. Well, he didn't strike out. He got one home run out of the week.
I know, right?
Okay, so Future State Gotham, and this is by Joshua Williamson with Dennis Culver on the art and art by Giannis Milanidis.
No, that was good. That was really good. I
Thanks,
see you've been
man.
practicing names.
So, yeah, what do you think of this? It's a bit different.
It is a bit different, but I actually kind of liked it.
Yeah, I
Um,
did. I did too.
I think the black and white method, I didn't know that's what it was going to be,
Neither did I.
but I think it worked really well. Um, I like seeing, you know, Scarface, just a big
Mecca
goofy, yeah,
Scarface.
Mecha Scarface, just a big goofy villain like that. Because you expect this book to kind of take itself seriously, but then you get, Mecha Scarface, and that changes it up a bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, Jason is potentially going to get recruited into the Peacekeeper program, which could be fun. I don't think that's going to happen. I think there's more going on here, but no, I thought it was really cool. The action was good. The art's really good. I liked, uh, all the different artwork and pinup and backups in the back. So this was cool for me.
Yeah, it was pretty cool for me too. I'm interested in seeing where stuff goes. The fact there's also like a big explosion could have been new Batman. That's the theory, and the the black voice that talks to Jason tells him what to do that he's working for undercover. It was like it was him or whatever, and but then Jason's convinced it's not the new Batman. So we'll see what's going on there. But it was yeah.
Also, I just want to say that the last page of the main story where, the whole family meeting thing,
Yeah.
I'm really excited for that because I want to see everybody in the future, like what after everything they've been through, just kind of together and talking about things. I think that'll be super cool.
That's going to have just more angst than we can even deal
Oh,
with.
oh,
We'll
I
need a
know.
we'll need a big old spoon to drink up all that angst.
Okay, yeah, spoon. We'll go with that. What would you give it though?
I give it an 8. I thought it was really good.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think I'm gonna go with 9.
All
It
right.
was a lot better than I was expecting. So,
I
and
got you,
not
man.
not that I thought it was gonna be bad. I thought it was gonna be cool because I like the future state stuff, but it was just really good.
Right on, man.
All right. So Joker. Joker number 3. This was written by James Tynan and art was done by Guillaume March. Casey, your thoughts?
I liked it. I will say, I will point out one thing is like every once in a while, how like March's art, first off, it's fantastic, but the way he draws this lady, like I didn't notice it the first time, but like there's some times where her face is just unsettling. I don't think it's supposed to be.
Really? Because I thought it was supposed to be. That's what
Okay,
I
see,
was getting while reading it.
okay, well then maybe it is. I was just looking at like because like right here, she looks just like, oh yeah, normal pretty lady. But then like when she's talking to Gordon, she just looks like I don't know, like a terrifying, like almost like if she was a real person, she'd look like a terrifying like bog monster. So
See, and I think it is on purpose because the court is behind everything, right? And
yeah.
this lady's speaking for them. I bet she is pretty messed up.
Well, I mean, I
Like
figured she'd
when
be messed up, but still like I didn't think.
so whenever Gordon's like, "Well, what if I took out the full 25 million and just had a nice vacation?" And she's like, "I don't know, Mr. Gordon. What would happen?" See, I think it's on purpose that she
All
looks
right,
like this
fair
crazy
enough.
lady. So, just my thoughts.
Yeah, and then the stuff with Joker, like he did. It turns out he didn't do the Arkham attack and whatnot. It's supposed to make him look like it. It's like, yeah, but you've still done a lot of terrible stuff. doesn't really, one doesn't make the other seem any less or
Also,
whatever, but
I I love how Joker's written here though. Like first thing
yeah.
you get is Jimbo, is that really you? Which is great. And then like just the look of disappointment and anger that someone made it look like him, but it wasn't him. Like if anyone's
Mm-hmm.
gonna kill all those people, it's gonna be me. So I thought that was pretty neat.
Yeah.
And
Lady Bane looking like she's gonna be busting some heads.
yeah. And it's one of those things where I'm like, okay, is she gonna go all out and try to prove that she's like Bane's daughter and she's not to be messed with, or is this gonna be one of those like one and done, swept under the rug kind of things?
I wouldn't be surprised if it's a one and done, swept under the rug type of thing.
Yeah.
Because it's like Mr. Freeze's wife took over as as the new Freeze, and then it's like, I mean, they mentioned it in the Grifter comic, and then now it's like Mr. Freeze is just back in the other two comics that were in the urban legend things. So,
Yeah,
but and then did you read the Punchline story
I did.
by? All right, and that's by Sam Johns and James Tynan with Ariana Maher on the art. And did you like this one?
I did, but like you were saying with Superman and Mongol and Doomsday, Orca should not be just freaking, getting waylaid by this chick that has no training or anything like that. I think that's
Yeah,
silly. So that part bugged me, but I think the art's really good. And we are starting to see like how she was altering, the gas and whatnot to make it her own thing. Kind of see the origins of that as neat. It's
yeah,
it's perfectly fine as a backup. I don't think I'd read this if it was like its own title, but it's fine as a backup, just a few pages every couple weeks.
yeah. No, I agree. And at least with the Orca, I mean, the fight shouldn't have been as close as it was, but at least Orca won. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, yeah, I agree.
But last time I saw Orca, and well, I mean, if I remember right, she was like trying to get like be a better hero, like kind of not so much be a hero, but not be a bad person.
Yeah.
So it's a little disappointing that she just couldn't stay on the straight and narrow.
I agree.
What would you give this one?
Oh man, I love this. It's a 10 for me. I
Oh
loved
yeah,
it.
yeah. It was. I only give it about an 8, probably. I just I just liked it. I don't know if I'd call it back if we went out on a date.
Oh, you're crazy.
I would buy its dinner though.
Okay, well, fair enough. All right, and finally, the big book of the week, DC Festival of Heroes, the Asian Superhero Celebration. So, take point, my man.
Okay, so the first story is called Sounds, and this is by Mariko Tamaki with Marcus Toe on the art, and this is all about Cassandra Cain, the best Batgirl, and she's just doing some stuff, kicking the crap out of some people, and kind of like her inner monologue is about how she just has trouble talking, and then she saves, she saves this hunky scientist's life, and then he's like, "Hey, you want to get some boba tea sometime?" And he's like, "That's probably weird," but then she's like, "He is pretty hunky. I want to go, get some boba tea." And so she goes, gets there, and she's like, she actually gets to talk to him, and then she's like, "You will be mine," which it's like, that could be a level of stalking that's not okay, since you
Yeah.
are a superhero and you could do a level of stalking that would not be okay, but whatever.
Yeah.
What do you think of that story?
It was fine. I mean, it's
Yeah,
nice to see her like struggle a little bit with just being a normal person, which is something we should see. But, like with any time they do big books like this, sometimes there's just not enough there to like really give a solid
yeah,
answer.
yeah. No, I hear you, man. But next up is Dress Code, and this is by Min Lei with Trung Lee and Yugen on the art. And this is the Green Lantern that I've never read anything about before now, because I think he only had the one story that was like a young adult reader story, type thing. But I actually really like this. I like the art. I thought it was pretty good, but it was only 3 pages. So, he beats up a Sinestro Corps guy and he talks about his outfit basically. It was
Yeah,
fine.
it was fine.
Yeah.
I loved the pinup on the next page though by Cliff Chang. Man, that
Yeah.
was awesome.
I agree, dude. And then next up is Hawk and Kong. And this is by Greg Pak and Sumit Kumar. And this one, it's like, I just want this to be a series.
Yeah.
Because we get Connor Hawk and the old Chinese Superman. And yeah, he's taken over to watch over Metropolis for Superman. And, he really likes the attention and stuff. And, he kind of like Connor doesn't really like him. And then, oh yeah, we have something in common and all that stuff. It was pretty cool. This is one of those ones where it's like, it should have been longer. Like they should have gave Greg Pak a little bit more time to work, because this is just like there's a lot going on. We could have done a lot more. They have some good, like they're written very well. That they have some good back and forth chemistry that I would love to read more of. It was awesome. Probably the best story in this, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, it's up there for sure. And I'm so glad, like, I've fallen in love with Kumar's art from Man Bat, so it's super cool to see him do Connor Hawk and New
Yeah.
Superman, because we both liked the new Superman book, so that was pretty awesome.
All right, and then next up is Special Delivery, and this is by Aniz Adam Ansari with Sami Basir on the art. And someone's killing pizza delivery people, and it turns out the pizza delivery people were ninjas, and their whole plan was, we're gonna poison pizza, but our poison delivery's been delayed, so we're not gonna be able to until next week. And so like it's pretty stupid, but it was fun. You get Robin beating some people up.
I didn't like it. I thought it was really stupid. And
Yeah.
Batman was horribly out of character. Like
That's
nothing Batman said is something he'd ever say, Go
I
call
mean,
up one of your friends. Batman's got this. It's like, dude, you're talking to your son in the Batcave.
I mean, he's trying to be a dad.
No, this was bad. Also, I kind of thought you'd mention the Jay Lee pinup in between stories.
Oh, dude, I wasn't really paying attention to the pinups because this was like the last book I read.
Yeah.
So I was just like, just gotta get through stuff. But no, that is pretty sick. He's too dang good.
Boy. He's not Tom King's boy, but he's your boy, Jay Lee.
Yeah.
Really, really good stuff. But
man, to keep my headcanon up, I bet Tom King was furious that they were doing an Asian book, since he hates Asian people. All right. So next is Masks by Ram V, and we have Audrey Mock on the art. And I'm just gonna have you talk about this one, because I have a feeling you have some strong, probably good opinions about it.
Yeah, I really liked it, man. Like, my goodness, the art's my favorite part of this, and the way that Cheshire's drawn is just incredible. Also, I had no idea until reading the stuff in the back of the book who this Cheshire Cat character was, but it's Leon Harper, who I thought was dead.
Yeah.
And it's like, if you want to know how Leon is alive, read Catwoman. And I do read Catwoman.
Yeah.
So that's exciting stuff. But I thought this was cool. Cheshire Cat makes her own mask. She, for some reason, keeps seeing the Cheshire Cat, mask. So she makes one for herself, tries to stop a crime. It goes wrong. Catwoman shows up and saves her, because I guess Catwoman's been training her. And they poke fun at Batman, which is always a good time, right?
Yeah, I love that part too. Thought that was pretty great. And
then, they have a little heart-to-heart, and it's like a to be continued. So this was like right behind the Connor and New Superman story for me. It was really good.
Yeah, no, I agree 100% with that. It was super great. The art was fantastic, and the only downside was it was the spoiled for me by Casually Comics on YouTube because she's a big Lee and Harper fan. So she's like, oh, she's back.
What? What do you mean
Yeah,
she's a big fan?
because she's weird, but because she did the whole history of her and Roy and all
Oh
that
man, that
stuff.
must have been minutes long.
Because she was really upset when they killed her off and all that stuff.
Fair
And
enough.
like I said, like I've said this before, I mean, she doesn't really need me plugging her YouTube page since she's got way more followers than we do, but it's worth a listen because she had one like about I think it was like 10 different videos on Clayface because it's like there's so many different ones that I didn't even know about and all this other stuff. It's really cool, but yeah, so she talked about that. She's like, she's back. I'm like, well, that's a spoiler. But next is about Dustin Eugen's story. It's called "What's in the Box," and sorry, I had to do that.
I knew you were going to.
But yeah, like this one was pretty fine. I mean, the art's really pretty.
I just didn't really get it, if I'm honest. Maybe I'm
Yeah,
just dumb, but like what's with the guy turning into a kid?
I think I'm like not 100% sure, but I think that's a Clayface. I think this is when Tim was leading that Detective Comics team, and they had a Clayface on there.
Well, man, they should say that.
I mean that's my
Because I
guess.
even read that book and I
Yeah.
didn't know that's what was going on. But I mean, it makes sense.
So that's because at first I thought it was like Jason turning into a kid because it's like, oh, they're talking like they were kids or something. But I'm like, I don't think that's it. And yeah, they just have like a short little convo, and that's that.
I mean, Dustin Gwynn's art's always really good like this, but I don't know. This one just wasn't for me.
It's just one of those things where it's like the art's good, so I'm fine with it
Yeah,
because
fair
it
enough.
is 3 pages. And then next is Family Dinner by Alyssa Wong, pencils by San Shin. Sean Shin. I said San.
Yeah, yes, you did. It was really bad. I thought that was a given for you, man.
I'm stupid. So yeah, I can't. Okay, we get Grace and Anissa. They're gonna go meet with Jefferson, who's Black Lightning. Anissa Pierce's Thunder, his daughter, and Grace I think she's an Amazon because I remember reading her in.
Is
Okay, I remember reading her in The Outsiders when Nightwing was the leader. And so yeah, they're having dinner and she's really nervous about, meeting Black Lightning. And it's like the stereotypical story of the person's meeting like the significant others meeting the significant other's parents for the first time with supervillains. And then we have her beat up Mammoth a little bit, which it's like that's the thing. Like I remember in The Outsiders one time they fought Mammoth and his sister, and like beating up Mammoth was a much bigger deal. And this, she's like throwing him around. So it's like, did she get a power amp or did they just kind of not care?
I'm gonna go with not care.
More than likely.
I
And
was
I don't remember,
excited to see Mammoth though.
I was excited to see Grace, honestly, because like I haven't seen her since that series. I thought that she just died or was in comic book limbo.
Yeah, overall though, I thought the story tried a little too hard. I didn't think it was that great.
I thought it was perfectly fine. There wasn't much going on. I don't one of those things where it's like I don't think I ever fully understood Thunder's powers, and I don't think I still do.
Yeah. It's like her name's Thunder, but she's bulletproof somehow. Like what?
Yeah.
I don't understand what the connection is.
Yeah, it's hard to say, but yeah, it didn't wow me like some of these others, but the art was pretty. I'll give it that.
Sure.
You don't even like the art?
Yeah, it's fine.
Oh, okay. Well, dang, man, someone's hard to please.
I am.
I'm gonna just tear up the picture I drew you for our friendship anniversary. So next
Anyway.
is Kawaii Calamity by Sarah Kuhn and Victoria Ying on the art. I'll be honest. I did not like this one.
It was just a big like fever dream across 3 pages.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like the art's interesting and like I don't mind poking fun at like the whole anime thing, but it was just kind of weird.
Yeah. Maybe it would be better if we knew anything about Emiko Queen. Is she like actually related to Ollie, or is it just an adopted thing? Like, was he just like, no, Batman's got some kids that he's taken in. I wanted to too.
I knew at one point. I think there is some connection somewhere like Oliver's dad was unfaithful or something like that. I don't know, but
Okay. All right. And then next is Festival of Heroes by Amy Chu and Marcio Takara. And then this has got Katana, Cyborg, and Blue Beetle all fighting against a bunch of white supremacist guys. And they have a special amulet thing. This one, it's like, I think whoever was writing it could have written the dialogue less because I think they thought that their dialogue was a lot more clever than it was. And so there's a like they were very chatty, and it's like that it was just a little bit too much chatting going on for what it was. So I didn't really care much for it that way. But yeah. And then it's also weird that they're trying to be like, oh yeah, these guys are racist, but then they let the random Asian old man know kung fu.
yeah, yeah,
which
real.
I just thought was kind of funny. But yeah, this issue was fine, but it seemed like also one thing that made me laugh is like Superman, Wonder Woman, and Batman all show up, and they're like, "Are those dumplings?"
Dude, I'm glad. I was literally gonna ask you who Wonder Woman was because I didn't know.
Yeah, that's Nubia Wonder Woman.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. I want to say how freaking good Takara's art is, and and the people know at this point that I'm a huge fan of his. But man, I thought the art was incredible, especially the way he drew Katana in this. Like, the character design's amazing.
I agree, dude. I will say every time I hated this character the most because every time I saw it, I was like, why are they fighting Our Man?
I know it was like a really bad Our Man, dude.
Yeah,
it was driving me nuts.
But yeah, like I said, this it was just like I really think they were trying too hard with the writing. I think it could have been a much better story had they just been like, we'll take back like half of the words we're using, and then it'll make the villains look more evil than them trying to be kind of funny. I think that might have been one of the problems. They're like, we don't want them to be too racist.
Yeah, it was one of those try too hard things for me. Yeah. It's like, dude, we get it.
Yeah.
Before you go on to the next one, though, we have to talk about the pinups on this page. Like, that Cheshire's amazing, and I don't know if the other one's Lady Shiva or if it's like Talia, but
my guess would be Shiva.
Okay, but my goodness, that art is insane.
I like the Swamp Thing a lot too, the Francis Manapul one.
Yeah, it's really good. But I was just blown away by Jen Bartel's Cheshire.
Yeah.
Hey everybody, I like Cheshire.
That's what I'm gonna be cosplaying as at C2E2 this year for you.
Oh man. This is a family-friendly podcast, so I will not say anything.
I'm just gonna do like a minute of bleeping. Just add that in there just for fun. Okay, so next up is the Perceptible, and this is by Prinsak Picheshoto and Alexander Tefinki on the art. Give me the right answer, Jake.
I don't have one, and I'm afraid to try.
But yeah, this is the Atom. I don't know when they changed his costume. Like, because when I read it, the trade of the original one, he just had he didn't have glasses and he had just the Ray Palmer costume. And this seems more like the CW costume, and I'm not too hot on that, really.
Yeah, it's pretty lame.
Yeah, what do you think of this story? Because I didn't really like the main action parts, but I like his conversation with Bruce at the end.
That was the only thing I was going to comment on. The end was cool, but the
Yeah.
rest of it, I was couldn't care.
Yeah, no, it's just that I'm actually the same way, but I think I'll be honest, I have a feeling like the end was like the this writer's main thing. You know, like when you read it, like I'm like, oh yeah, this is his point from this story. Okay. And so I think he'd be happy with us going like, this is our favorite part.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
And the art's pretty solid in it. I just don't like his design now. Like it just
Mhm.
doesn't look near as cool. And then last is The Monkey Prince Hates Superheroes. And this is by Jean Luen Yang and Bernard Chang on the art. I really like this art. Like there's certain artists out there that just draw superhero stuff really well. And this is, this is that type of art in my opinion. Like it's just kind of, it's like, yeah, his Shazam looks fantastic and the Monkey Prince looks great. And yeah, all of it looks just really cool. What the story itself, I was like kind of fine with it. I'm interested in seeing what, more stuff about the Monkey Prince. And if this art was in Shazam every time, I'd probably be reading it. What'd you think of it?
Yeah, I thought the story was fine. I love I love the Monkey Prince's costume design.
Mm-hmm.
It's like vibrant and nothing like if I were a superhero I wouldn't wear it, but it sure looks good on Monkey Prince. And I think the staff that he uses is really cool.
His power pole?
Yes, I know. That's exactly what it is. Um and his Shifu Pigsy, as he calls him, is I thought was a good balance to Monkey
Yeah.
Prince. So overall, I thought it was cool. I don't really get like his unwarranted hatred of Shazam because you can't like how can you hate Shazam? He's just a big likable,
Yeah.
goofball.
And I mean, just his whole disdain for superheroes was like a little bit like kind of it felt like it was tossed in like maybe since they're like, oh yeah, we can't like there might, Jane might have had more in there that they're like, we got to cut this stuff out for, meet the
Yeah.
page limit or whatever. That might have been it, but I don't know.
It's like, yeah, we love this, but we need more room for Kawaii Calamity.
Yeah.
But no, overall, I thought it was cool, and it said that we would get more Monkey Prince later this year, which is exciting. But I did really like there on that last page when it turns out he's friends at school with Billy Batson, and I think
Yeah.
that could be so much fun. And I think you and I both know that Gene could make that amazing.
Yeah. No, that's gonna be really exciting. So like I hope that Gene's gonna get to write the two of them together. And I wonder if it's gonna be in the Shazam book, because that I have a feeling a Monkey Prince book before he's known isn't gonna sell too well. So it might just be the Shazam series that they're gonna be doing this in.
Well, it'll have to be a new series because Shazam's been over for a while. So
I
I
mean,
could see them starting up a new one for this and then doing
yeah,
like Monkey. I don't know though. Monkey Prince backups, or would he just be in the book?
it could be both. I mean, they could easily have, the two of them and then just have Monkey Prince, like you said, back up and then have Shazam doing stuff, but have them every once in a while converge or something. I don't
Right.
know.
What would you give this book overall?
So I always kind of look at it like, oh yeah, I spent $10 on this. Was it worth it? Not really. So like the stories that were really good, I liked the Cassandra one. I liked Hawk and Kong a lot, and I liked the Rom V story, and then the Monkey Prince. Those were the ones that were like, yes, like they're the top tier ones. The other ones I could have not read and been fine, but seeing Connor and Kong and those like since they aren't even in a book now, and we get
Yeah.
that, that's really nice. So like, I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 10, but some of these stories were really good.
Yeah, I think there was more good than bad. Even the ones that were like just okay, it's still better than what we've gotten on some of these other $10 books.
That's true.
So I'm more at a 7 out of 10.
Nice.
I'm not mad that I read it. There
No,
was
I'm
a lot
not.
more good
Yeah,
than bad.
it's like I said, it's just kind of like one of those things where it's like, if I hadn't ever read those other stories, I wouldn't have been mad. I wouldn't have been like, oh man, I really missed out on this dream story about this Red Arrow girl that I know nothing about.
Yeah, exactly. All right. And then we'll talk about the books we're excited for next week. Um, I was prepared for this. The number one that I'm most excited for is Wonder Girl, 100%. I knew you were going to take it, so I jumped in there. I'm also going to say, to the surprise of maybe many, Mighty Valkyries 2, because I like that first one so much and I want to see more.
Nice.
And then for number 3, it's Black Knight. No, it's not. It's not Black Knight. Just kidding. Um, probably Storyteller, because I just love that book a whole bunch.
Nice. So I'm gonna go with Catwoman because it's been amazing. Daredevil because I love Daredevil, and I'm gonna go with Shang-Chi number 1 because I'm pretty pumped that they're bringing that back for the 3rd time in this year.
Mm-hmm. Also, honorable mention to Nightwing for me.
Nice. And if we're doing honorable mentions, I'll say Ultra Mega and Flash.
Right on. Okay, Fantastic Four.
Fantastic Four time. So when I was driving back and forth in the tractor, I thought of like funny names for superhero teams that would make them better just by adding one word. So I want you to make 4 superhero teams just better by adding just that one word that's going to put them over the edge and make them even better.
Sure. I did 2 teams, and then I did 2 just like regular superhero titles. So I hope that that's okay. And I'll start with those.
And then like, how about you pitch them to me too, if you have like the idea of what the books would be in your head? If you want, you don't have to, but like extra points.
Sure. Okay, so we've got, I just thought of this. Instead of new Superman, it's old Superman. And it's just a super old Superman who has no business being Superman anymore. Kind of like the old people where you're like, they shouldn't have a driver's license. It's like that, but with Superman. So it's like there could be hijinks there.
Nice. I like the Lex Luthor's great grandson's just trying to get him in a home. He's like, no, I want you to be okay. Bad guy. Yeah. He's like, no, I'm worried about you.
Yeah. And then this one, I can't explain. It's just Amazing Spider-Man drugs. So nice. Maybe Peter's doing drugs. Maybe there's drugs out there that are giving people spider powers. And then maybe this is the idea for Dan Slott to write Spider Island 2.
There you go. Well, you got me hooked on drugs.
Then we've got New Mutants Repo. And it's just that team, but they're repo men.
Nice.
Yeah, so I think that could be pretty cool. Maybe they're repoing like villains' vehicles though.
There you go.
So there's still like action.
Yeah.
It's like Dog the Bounty Hunter, but real,
Yeah. No, I'm all about that.
And then finally, Justice League Chopped, where it's like the show Chopped, but with Justice League members.
Who do you think would win?
Oh, Green Arrow or Alfred.
Okay, nice. Now I feel like Alfred would be Ted for sure.
Ooh, yeah, you're right. but Green Arrow, gotta watch that chili. So
fair enough, man.
So yeah.
Okay. So this is the one that kind of started it all in my brain, and it was Victoria's Secret 6.
Ooh.
Basically, it would be the members of Secret 6, but they're all dressed up in Victoria's Secret lingerie.
Okay, I like that.
Then as I was coming up with it, like I was like, I gotta come up with some other ones. So I have the Suicide Prevention Squad. It's just you have Harley Quinn and the rest of the Suicide Squad sitting at a suicide prevention hotline, answering calls.
Okay.
Kind of help people out.
I'm here for it.
And then 7 Soldiers of Victory?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is 97 Soldiers of Victory.
It's just so many. Oh my gosh.
This is the
This is
best.
Grant Morrison, like on his
Yeah.
deathbed, just still writing this book.
It'd be great. And then the best one though is Fantastic Four dogs. It's just 4 different dogs. They're fantastic.
They're all just the goodest boys.
Yeah. Well, there's a good girl in there too.
Okay, fair enough. All right. Well, that was fun. That was a fun one.
Thanks, man.
All right. So I think we're to the closing plugs. So, as you all know by heart, but I'll go through it again. If you would, please go to facebook.com/2worldspodcast and give our page a like. You can also find us on Twitter at 2_worlds_PC and on Instagram at 2worldspod. You can also email us at 2worldspodcast@gmail.com. And also, please go to our YouTube page and, play it in the background if you don't really like sitting there watching this hour and whatever long show. But, give each video a like, maybe comment on there, something to
Yeah.
help you out.
Give us some more of these superhero teams that you make better with one word.
Yes, we definitely want to hear.
Yeah.
And we'll read them off on the next episode too.
Yeah, that'd be great.
And finally, wherever you're listening to this podcast, please review us 5 stars wherever you're listening to it.
Yeah.
And we'd love to stay in chat, but we have to go become the world's richest woman. So we'll see you next time. Bye, guys.
Bye.